They feel so embarrassed now the truth is out. The atmosphere around them has completely changed because the truth they work so hard to hide is no longer staying in the dark. And now the people who once acted confident while judging you unfairly are carrying a level of embarrassment that never expected to experience. For a long time, they felt secure believing their version of events will never be questioned, challenged, or exposed. And because of that false confidence, they spoke freely, spread opinions carelessly, and treated you as though you were the problem while they presented themselves innocent or justified in everything they did. But now reality is beginning to speak louder than manipulation, and the truth coming to light is creating discomfort that is becoming impossible for them to hide behind fake confidence or emotional performance anymore. What makes this situation so painful for them is the fact that many people are starting to recognize how unfairly you were treated. Why they stay silent, participating in the judgment, or accepted stories without taking time to understand what was actually hidden. The individuals who once felt powerful while embarrassing you are now struggling internally because conversations are changing around them and the support they once depended on no longer feels stable or unquestioned. People are beginning to compare the things they said about you with the reality they are now witnessing. And the difference between those two things is creating serious embarrassment because it is becoming obvious that the truth was never simple as they try to make it appear. Some of them are replaying old situations in their minds and feeling ashamed because they remember moments where they laughed at your pain, dismissed your feelings, ignored your side of the story, or treated you unfairly based on information that was incomplete, manipulated, or completely false. At the time, they believed they were justified, but now the truth has exposed how quickly they judge you without wisdom, patience, or fairness. And that realization is deeply uncomfortable because nobody likes facing the reality that they contributed to hurting someone who did not deserve it. The emotional pressure they are carrying now comes from understanding that many of the assumptions they spread about you are collapsing right in front of everyone, and the image they try to build is no longer surviving under closer observation. There are people around them who beginning to speak differently, question because who are beginning to speak different questions because too many details are no longer adding up to the way they once did, and this is making the guilty individual feel exposed in ways they never prepared for. Some are becoming quiet because they know they cannot defend themselves honestly anymore. Others are trying to avoid conversation connected to your name because every discussion now reminds them of how wrong they were. And there are those who secretly wish they could go back and undo the damage because their manipulation or unfair treatment is becoming heavier every single day. They never expected the truth to rise this strong, and they definitely never imagine that people will begin to seeing you in a completely different light after believing negative story for so long. What makes everything even more uncomfortable for them is the way you handled the situation. They expected emotional breakdown, public fight, endless argument, or reaction that would support the false image they created about you. But instead, you remain calmer than expected and allow time to reveal what was what alone could not permanently hide. The silence now working against them because people are realizing your behavior did not match the accusation made against you. Instead of seeing someone unstable or dishonest, they are seeing someone who stayed composed while carrying unfair pressure, criticism, and judgment without constantly trying to destroy others publicly in return. This realization is humiliating the individuals who tried hardest to make you look bad before because your consistency had become evidence that the story people accepted about you was deeply flawed from the beginning. Hallelujah. Many of them now feels nervous whenever your name comes up because they know the truth has shifted the atmosphere completely. The same confidence they once carried while speaking against you has disappeared because they can sense that people are paying attention differently now. Supporters who once agree with them automatically are becoming more careful, more observant, and more hesitant to define actions that now appear dishonest or emotionally cruel. That shift is creating fear and embarrassment because the they understand that once public opinion starts changing, trust becomes difficult to recover, especially when people realize they may have been manipulated into attacking the wrong person all along. There are moments when those individuals feel trapped by their own actions because the truth has removed the excuses they once used to justify their behavior. They cannot easily blame misunderstanding anymore because too much clarity is surfacing. They cannot continue pretending innocent because reality is exposing inconsistency in their word and actions, and they cannot comfortably stand in the same confidence they once